Hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to the channel. Well, we have so much news to talk about. It seems this week we've got Discovery stuff going on, we've got Picard stuff going on, and we now know a little bit more about what's happening at the start of Season 2 Picard. I did a video yesterday where we talked about this new sneak peek scene that's come out showcasing this massive sort of battle sequence and the ship getting hit by all sorts of stuff and everything, which we worked out was the USS Stargazer and everything. But there was a bit of speculation as to going on in terms of what our crew were doing, what the position they're in. Is this going to be a dream sequence? Is it going to be real life? So we now know a little bit more about what position things are in at the start of Season 2. Over a year has passed since the end of Season 1. So all of our characters are kind of a little bit more scattered to the wind than they were all together on the last arena at the end of Season 1. And they're all sort of in new postings, different career choices that characters have made, which is really interesting, and go through some of this information that we now know about where our various characters for Star Trek Picard are at the start of Season 2. Guys, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to Sci-Finatics. It really helps the channel out by telling the YouTube algorithm people are all interested in my content. Much appreciated. If you haven't clicked that red subscribe button yet, please do so. There's going to be a lot of Star Trek content coming up in the next few months with Picard and Discovery and Strange New Worlds and everything, so make sure you don't miss out on any of that. So yes, initially this sneak peek scene we saw yesterday kind of had some possible vibes to it, that it might have been a dream sequence, a la a lot of those dream sequences we got at the start of Season 1, or it might have been a holographic simulation or something to that effect. But that doesn't seem like it is the case. It actually seems like this stuff is happening. And we now know a little bit about where our characters are at the start of Season 2, thanks to a new video that CBS has put out, which talks about some of our, crew and what they're up to. So let's get into that. When we meet Jean-Luc in Season 2, he's back in Chateau Picard. He's alone, but being cared for by Laris. But he's not necessarily happy. He's having flashback moments to when he was a child living on the vineyard. There's some conflict within him that's getting stirred up. But he's also not just making wine. He's also Chancellor of Starfleet Academy. Raffi has returned to Starfleet and is teaching at Starfleet Academy and is overseeing Elnor, who has become Starfleet's first ever Romulan to enter Starfleet Academy and is maturing a little from the naive kid that he was in Season 1. 7 of 9 has returned to the Fenris Rangers and has taken over captaincy of La Serena. When we first see her, she's battling some pirates with the help of one of the Rios holograms, the emergency tactical hologram Emmett. Despite the beginnings of a relationship between Seven and Raffi, which we saw back in Season 1, over a year has passed since the end of Season 1, and it seems like they haven't been able to easily maintain a long-distance relationship and are kind of doing their own thing now. It seems like Soji and Girardi have been touring the galaxy on a kind of diplomatic goodwill PR mission to spread the word that synths are good people and should no longer be feared. Rios has rejoined Starfleet and is captain of the USS Stargazer. Starfleet has tasked the Stargazer to investigate some kind of anomaly, and looks like Rios has recruited Girardi along with other members of the La Serena crew to assist in that mission. It also seems like Rios took the posting to get kind of a fresh start, exercise his demons sort of that were wrapped up in the loss of his former captain on the Ibn Majid and sort of subsequent souring of Starfleet. One thing I love about some of the imagery in this first episode that's coming up for us is, like, I love the look of the Stargazer. The Stargazer looks great. The bridge looks great. It actually looks like a Federation starship, around the era of, the last Star Trek feature films featuring the Next Generation cast, Nemesis, Insurrection and so forth. I've always thought that the bridge on Discovery seems ridiculously large, and it's like a basketball court, practically, with all the consoles spread from one side of the room to the other. I think there's something that is a lot more intimate. The size of the bridge for Next Generation, Voyager, all of the feature films and everything, original series, Enterprise, they're all a certain size, and it's sort of a cozier feel, I think, whereas Discovery just seems so ridiculously spacious that it's like, oh, hello over there, like, you know, miles away at that console, I can barely hear you. I'm so far apart. It seems like it's, you know, it's just so spread out on Discovery. And it was the same a little bit, I think, with last season when we got some clips of Riker on the ship that he was captaining. But again, that was just a redressed Discovery bridge, so then that makes sense that it would have the same feel. But it definitely feels like it's not the same case with our bridge of the Stargazer, which I gotta say, it looks great. Everything visually to me now is looking, yes, this is Star Trek. We're getting some, you know, some good ships. We're getting some, you know, the sets look great. The LCAR's console displays look great. This is now feeling like it's supposed to feel for Star Trek, as opposed to sort of some elements of Discovery, which sort of like, it's kind of in the ballpark, but it's sort of sometimes it's not quite right, you know. But it feels like with Picard, it's the look and feel is kind of getting back to what we're used to, which is fantastic. We've got some new Starfleet uniforms here, little sort of variations on what we saw last season. It almost seems like some of the stylings on the uniforms here maybe have taken a page from the Lower Decks books, perhaps, in the sense that it's got the kind of the stripe and the thing that goes down the side across the top, which is what the uniforms on Lower Decks have. So I wonder whether our costume designers sort of taken a look at Lower Decks and sort of, you know, brought a couple of the aspects from those costumes into this show. I'd be interested to know if that was in fact the case, but I don't mind these uniforms. I think they look good. They're quite close to the ones we saw last season, but a little bit different again, which is good. But still, they seem very much in keeping with what we're used to. I'm glad they're not too ridiculously far afield to what we've seen in the past, because they do change around their uniforms in Starfleet quite often. It seems quite interesting where all our characters are at the beginning of season 2, and this mission on the Stargazer that's obviously going to go horribly pear-shaped, going by the sneak peek scene. If you haven't seen my breakdown of the sneak peek scene for this first episode, click up here. That will take you a look at that video, which shows a very exciting sequence from our first episode of Star Trek Picard on board the USS Stargazer under the command of Captain Rios. I can't wait this week. It's going to be a very busy week. Obviously, we've got Discovery and Picard airing on the same day. I think I'm going to do my Picard reviews first. I'm more excited about Picard starting back again, so I think I'm going to bash out my my Picard review next week before I do my Discovery one. I think because I'm getting a sense that there's a lot of excitement building for the new season of Picard, which is great. Guys, as always, please leave a super thanks if you're able to. It really helps the channel out, generating all this content for you guys. So much appreciate your support with that. If you can't, just like and comment as you do. That always helps the YouTube algorithm know people are interested in my content. And share this video with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And please check out my merch in the merch store, picking up some cool Star Trek flavoured t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, caps, all that sort of thing for great bargain prices. I'll catch you guys soon for my next video. I'll see you soon.